Hi guys, Rune here and welcome to the Italian Pre-Alps. Today I'm here with a new 3T bike. This is the Strada Italia. I might have mentioned some hints about it already in my previous videos, and it's the race bike that I'm going to be riding this year. So what is different? Well, just like the Race Max before, this is the Italia version of the existing Strada road bike, which means it's made in-house in their factory near Bergamo, Italy, using their proprietary technology combining dry fiber manufacturing of tubes and filament widening. So it's a fairly unique technology used in frame building. Now it's the third model that uses this same setup from 3T. The particular bike that you can see here is the top of the line version featuring the new, as of shooting this video, still unreleased SRAM Red ETAP AXS group set. And the paint finish is called the Project X. You can also know this already from the Race Max version. So this is a bare carbon frame with no paint on it whatsoever, and it has the beautiful carbon weave showing all throughout the bike, only complemented with this subtle gold lettering, which is pretty damn cool, particularly combined with the 10-wall Vittoria Corsa tires. As you can see, the general shape of the bike is really quite similar to the outgoing Strada. However, there are some key differences. One of them, starting from the front, is the deeper, much more airfoil shaped fork that still integrates nicely into the head tube area. It has fully internal routing, as you would expect from an aero bike of this day and age. And just like the Race Max, again, it uses the 3T Mora Integrale stem, which is made out of carbon fiber and uses a sliding wedge to secure itself to the stereo clamp. It also has kind of a reverse mount for the faceplate for aerodynamics, and it can also house a computer mount under this rubber insert, which you can replace, and then you have a computer mount on it. The handlebar is 3T's own aero bar, again with the integrated routing throughout, so nothing is visible except if you just peek under here. The brake hoses actually run underneath the stem, so you can exchange the stem without needing to do a whole rebleed of the bike and both brakes. Further changes compared to the old, or well, outgoing version, or the standard Asian version should I say, because that bike will remain in the lineup, is the down tube. Now this one is much more pronounced than before, and it completely shields the water bottle when placed into the bottle cage, which by the way has two locations still. So the one you can see here is the more aero one, tucked all the way underneath to the bottom bracket for maximum aerodynamics. And if you use a two bottle setup, then this goes to the upper mount and you can fit a bottle cage also on the seat tube. Another new feature is that the front derailleur mount is removable completely, which comes in handy if you're using a one-by setup, or for example something like I use, one-by with classified. So that's a pretty neat solution. The bottom bracket still BB386 Evo with a thread together cup design, so that's carried over. And to be honest, this area is one of my favorite features of this frame, because yeah, it's just really dramatic and oversized, and all is done to achieve the maximum power transfer and aerodynamics. So I really like that. The seat tube again has a radically curved profile to hug the rear wheel, but the clearance has been increased. These are some pretty massive 30mm Vittoria Corsa tires, but still there's plenty of clearance around them. Actually, if you're willing to go a bit closer to the frame, you can even fit 35mm tires measured width. So that's pretty extreme, I would say, for a race-oriented and aerodynamics-oriented bike, but good if you're planning to hit some rough roads, cobbles, etc. The top tube still retains a similar profile to the normal Strada, and it tapers off into the seat tube over here, where this section has also been changed quite dramatically. So it's a much deeper airfoil shape together with the seat post. Still has an internal binder, but now it slides fully into the frame, so it's not visible. and it's underneath this little cover. This is still a 3D printed unit because this is a pre-production press version of the bike, so that will be more refined in the stock models coming up. But yeah, overall the bike has a really more aggressive stance and shape than the previous one. The seat clamp still uses a Ritchie patented design, 1 bolt, which is a very neat setup. You can interchange between carbon rail version, like I have now with this Selle San Marco saddle, and the round one. Going back towards the bike, the rear section is really quite minimalist to preserve comfort, except that the seat stays are now again much deeper profiles for aerodynamics, and the chain stays buck the trend a little bit. They're not overly wide and bulky, just to allow for a little bit of deflection, and this bike really is damn comfortable. Actually, this I'm filming this on the day of the release for the dealers. It will be released in a few days for the public because of the SRAM release also, but I've actually ridden this bike quite extensively about a month ago when we were shooting the press material for this range of bikes, and it really is a really damn nice riding bike. Another neat feature of the rear end is the SRAM UDH derailleur hanger, which means it's easier to source because it's getting more and more widespread, and possibly it will allow for some new drivetrain options that are coming in the future. For the rest of the build kit, as I said, it's a complete SRAM red group set. There are my Wahoo pedals on it right now. They don't come with the bike, of course. With this high-end edition, you also get these rather neat and super light Zip 353 NSW wheels. Now, I don't have my scales on me, but this bike really feels damn light. I would say around 7 kilos together with the pedals. So really nice climbing build that's also super aero. So I really like that. If you're not a fan of this dark blacked out version, there are also 3 more variants coming in. Again, just like with the Race Max. So you get a beautiful pearl white one called Bianca, of course. Then you get the Rosso, which is kind of a deep cherry red. And you get the Verde, which is a typical Italian racing green, I would say. So you can choose from these variants, and they should be coming available in the next few months depending on your frame size and build kit. Now, as I said, this is the high-end version. Frame sets will also be available together with the ready-to-paint version with no paint whatsoever, so you can customize it to your liking. And there are also different SRAM Force and rival equipped versions. And there's also, good for the Shimano fans, including me, Shimano Ultegra build, which most of them come with 3T discus carbon wheels, which are also nice, aero, and wide to match the wide clearances on this bike. So that's really all about the technical details. Now a quick overview of how the bike rides. Because as I said, I already do have some experiences with it. So as you would expect from a race bike, it's, well, it just does everything right, to be honest. I already said this with the previous version, and this really just improves that. It's a lot lighter, which you can feel, and it helps on the climbs, of course. The handling is spot on the same, but because of the more advanced layup and manufacturing process, it just tracks better in the corners. It's more comfortable. So really everything you need from a race bike. I don't have frame weights yet for this particular build because again it's a pre-production version. And yeah, just another technical detail I would like to point out: it still comes with the direct mount front and rear flat mount calipers, which are both now direct mount to 160mm rotors. So that saves a bit of weight, also doing away with all the flat mount adapters and hardware associated with it. Okay, so that's basically it about this new bike release. I'm really looking forward to building it up in my own spec, which would be maybe a bit more extreme as you're used to. So yeah, it will definitely be a good companion for my training and racing. If you'd like to see future updates on that, then of course stay tuned for the future videos and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to stay more up to date, then of course there's my Instagram account to follow as well. Thanks for watching and see you next time.